Fine, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, good to have you here on this second day, on this third day.
Yes, sir.
Of this compelling training on fundamental framework and how we can go about integrating it on platforms and places, impact society, and ensuring that relapses are taken care of from within before they become something else beyond what one could handle. So without much ado, I'm going to invite Dr. Mba Dr. to take the first session. Dr. Mba is a man who has seen it in and out of both private and public service when it comes to the medical world. He is into leadership, critical leadership, who believes so strongly in lifestyle medicine, behavioral medicine, lifestyle protocol, doing a huge lot to ensuring that people keep to rules, routine etiquette, pre and post medical attention. Dr. Mba is the head of his organization and hospital and works for so many hospitals and critical networks. We'll take us the first session and then we'll continue from there. Dr. Mba, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Welcome to all participants. Mr. Dr. James Komolafe, the erudite professor who will be taking the larger chunk of this presentation. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Alexander Okoro, you are welcome. Thanks for being there.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Okeke Kure, you are welcome, ma. Thanks for being there for us. Today, my part is simply to speak on the orthodox angle of this fundamental framework integration. Usually, when we see a patient, what we first and foremost do is to check the vital signs after we have done the bioregistration. These things are also important to us. For instance, where somebody is coming from matters because there may be specific diseases that are prevalent in that location. So knowing where that person is coming from helps us to set our antenna wider. The age of this person also has a lot to do with how we will interact with that person. Because the way we treat an infant or a child is different from the way we'll treat an adult. So age differences, they matter so much for us. It's part of the framework integration that we need to do. Otherwise, we will get it wrong. The ethnicity of that person is also very, very important because there are some diseases and ailments that are peculiar or that are found more in a certain ethnic group than in others. If we go wider in the world, we talk about race. There are prevalent ailments that are peculiar or more endemic in the Caucasians, I mean the whites, than in Africans. There are some that are more in Africans than in the whites. So the race or the ethnicity, the tribe also comes in. These are fundamental frameworks we also need to take into consideration when we want to see a patient. Then we come to the vital signs. Vital signs are simply the temperature of the body of this patient. Is it normal? Is it low? Or is it high? And then is it very high? The temperature also determines how we approach the patient. Let me give us an instance. In a child who was brought in with a very high fever, the most important thing to do at this point is how we bring down that fever. Because if we leave that fever to continue, it may lead to convulsion. The child may start convulsing. And when a child convulses, there are other complications that come in. So we wouldn't like that to happen. We have to bring down the temperature so that this child will be a little more comfortable, and then we go ahead and begin to do our work. Then in the vital sign area, we also check out the blood pressure. Is the blood pressure normal? Is it low? Is it high? Is it very high? If a patient comes in with a very high blood pressure, the first and foremost thing we need to do is to see that we bring down that blood pressure to a manageable level. Not to crash it anyway, because if you crash it, it causes more problems also. That's the importance of checking for vital signs. Then the rate of this person. Rate means how many times is the heart beating per minute. We also look at it. Is it lower than normal? Is it normal? Is it higher than normal? If it's higher than normal, we'll now begin to look at what are the things that could lead to this situation in an individual. That also makes us to drift a little towards finding out what is wrong with this patient, even without speaking to the patient, without yet talking to the patient. We also look at the respiratory rate, the rate at which this person is breathing per minute. That gives us a good information on the internal nature of this patient. Is anything happening to the lungs? Because if the lungs are not okay, the breathing of necessity will be higher than normal. And in some occasions, it could be lower. If it's lower than normal, then we also begin to think of what is happening in the brain. So vital signs are very important for us in the management of patients. But unfortunately, you see, sometimes you tell a patient, just go, let them do your vitals. Instead, you know, my BP has been normal and all those arguments. But they don't know, of course, it's ignorance. They don't know that we needed this also to key in so that we will treat them properly. Then we now start with questions, because history is very key in the management of a patient. If you don't get the right information, you will not be able to make the right diagnosis. At this point, you start by asking the patient, you just welcome the patient anyway. We smile. You are welcome, even though the patient may be in anguish, but you try to reassure that person, having come to you. Ask the patient, what is happening? Well, how can we come in? How can we help? You are welcome. The patients begin to narrate the story. Yesterday, this happened to me. Day before yesterday, this happened to me. Today, I'm feeling this way and that way. You now guide the patient to find out. Is it I just duration of time of this symptom matters also? Is it something that has been there, what we call chronic ailment? Is it more than a month or two? If it has been there, you try to find out what has this patient been doing to help himself or herself. From there, you now begin to look at those things that the patient has done. Are they proper or are they not? But you don't reprimand the patient. You just listen and let the patient tell his or her story. You now guide, lead with questions to help you situate the problem that the patient has come with. After all those interactions, then it's time to examine this patient. You have to check. Do a physical check from the head to toe to find out if it is causing that problem or not, or if the problem has manifested in a physical form. After your checks, that will now give you further information as to what shall be done for this patient. What tests are to be carried out? You have to be, because you don't just send barrage of tests. The patient may not be financially buoyant to carry out all the tests at a go. But you look at the specific ones that will further reveal what the situation of this patient is. And then you send that patient for that test to be done. In these tests, there are some that may come out in the next 30 minutes, some in the next 1 hour, some in the next 2 hours. You guide the patient accordingly. If the situation is such that you have to start treatment, you start a little treatment while we are waiting for the results. And then when the result comes out, you will now be able to tidy up the history, your clinical finding, and the result. And you'll be able now to pinpoint what exactly is wrong with this patient. That is the time to commence therapy. I use the word therapy. I don't want to use the word treatment. It is the counsel this patient. It's the time also to find out, as you would have done in the history, in the family of this patient, has this type of thing happened? Is there anybody having the same thing? So that you will be able now to treat not just the patient and the family. Is the patient's condition such that you will need another person to help that patient to take his or her medication or treatment, as it were, appropriately? General medical practitioner, it's also a time to find out if you have to refer this patient to another specialist for that specialist's attention. Let me give us a case scenario. This patient has come and is complaining that he will just finish eating, and the next second or minute or hour, he'll start feeling hungry again. Or that he now drinks water, and the next 1 hour, 2 hours, he'll start feeling thirsty again. Not that there was excessive heat in that environment. Oh, at night, he wakes up to go and urinate up to 3 or 4 times. Oh, often he feels his mouth dry. These are telltale signs of diabetes mellitus. At that point, you would have gone ahead to run tests to find out if it will corroborate what you are thinking. If it's a diabetic, now it's time to find out if it's in another person in the family. Yes, if there is, or there may not be. Probably this patient is a mother or a father or a young man or a young woman. It is at this point that counseling has to come in. First and foremost, you reassure this patient that the situation is manageable. The situation is such that can be handled. If handled properly, there will be no problem. But we know that in our environment, before somebody comes down with all these symptoms, the ailment has been there causing some problems that will make us to widen further our investigations. In this case, we'll now bring in to see if the kidneys have been affected, if the liver has been affected, if there are other organs, the heart. And then it's also at this point we begin to look at other comorbidities, other things that may be happening in this patient that could worsen this situation. Otherwise, if you just go ahead and treat figure, give him drugs, he'll say, okay, go and take this medicine, it will bring down your blood sugar and all those. You don't take time to talk to this person and to reassure this person, there will definitely be relapse. Even in the scenario whereby you have discussed with this patient, you have counseled this patient, some of them, maybe because of their belief, they'll tell you it's not their portion, that nobody in the family has it and it cannot be their own portion. The next thing they do is to abandon hospital and move away. But it behoves us as caregivers to, at this time, drum it into the ears of our patients that this situation, if it's not properly managed, can cost a life. It is at this point that the patient will now come to terms with the dangerous nature of what is happening to him or her. And for those who want to live, they will now begin to seek solutions and ask, okay, doctor, as it is now what shall we do? It is at this point that you now reel out what should be done and how it should be done. And you allow that patient to ask questions on the areas he or she does not understand. When you do that, the patient will come into a fuller understanding of what he or she is going through, and then will make informed decisions, which this fundamental framework integration is all about. It's a multidisciplinary approach to get somebody from ill health to health, and beyond health to wealth. And just as we said our health is wealth, I would say that health is everything. But unfortunately, we have not been able to see health as such. In our daily plannings, what we plan for is for cozy cars, cozy apartments, wonderful dress we'll put on, how we will look outside gorgeously. And what are the things we are going to leave for generations unborn? Houses, lands, these are things that people pursue after neglecting their health. Unfortunately, you make that money, you spend it on your health, and yet it may not be enough. So these are fundamentals we pass across to patients to help them live healthy, live happier, and live longer. Also, some of them, when they get to some places and they are told they have this type of ailment that is something that will run for life, if you don't take time to tell them that some others have passed through this road and they have come off it unscathed, they will not come to terms with it. They will think that they have their own is the worst. More so, as health caregivers, we are not God. We should always remind patients and let them know that there is power beyond the medicines we give. And total trust in that power will also help us to come off our sick bed. Just as we are living, if that power has not kept us, we may not be alive up to today, no matter what we may have done. So it's beyond what we are talking about now, is just beyond human capability. The fundamental framework integration inculcates the spiritual aspect of life. As far as I know, when we do our portion, we will strengthen that person physically. When that person now gets beyond human understanding, the person will now know that the power that will lead him more is beyond humans, and then remove fear from what humans can do to that person. Because often what keeps people down is the fear of their neighbor, fear of their brothers, fear of their sisters, whom they think is the cause of their problem. Whereas, oftentimes, these people have nothing to do with what is happening to them in terms of health. Let me give us another scenario. I'm still using diabetes as a case study. There is what is called diabetic foot. Diabetic foot is when somebody who has diabetes gets injured. That wound does not heal easily. In some areas, they will tell you that you have stepped on poison. And when that happens, instead of the person going to hospitals to seek for help, the person goes to either Babalawo or prayer house. And in those areas, because the cause of that thing has not been taken care of, the wound gets worse. It becomes so toxic that that person's illness worsens. Like I told us the other day, even in the US, this diabetic foot accounts for about 60 to 70% of amputation of people's leg. These are things that could have been prevented if the diagnosis was made early enough and adherence to management was kept. Now you see how small, let me call it small problem, has led to a bigger one. And by the time you know it, this person's body begins to swell, all sorts of sepsis, that's infection sepsis, across the whole length and breadth of the body. And that takes away the life of the person. And then when that person dies, either the brother or the sister or the son or the siblings will say, they will be pointing at somebody who had threatened them the other day, that they will show them. Whereas it's not that threat, it's just that this person has an ailment that has not been properly taken care of. And also, what leads to relapses in this type of things also is that sometimes in diabetics, nature comes into play. The person checks his or her blood sugar and it's normal. Over time, the person thinks that it has gone. That's called Somogue's effect. And then the person throws away the person's medication, the diet, and will not even go to check again, because for some time he or she has checked and the blood sugar had remained normal. Then one day, the person is brought into the hospital unconscious because the blood sugar has hit the rooftop again. These are things we also explain to patients so that they will not fall victim to it. If we don't explain this to patients, what happens is that relapse will of necessity occur. And then the end result may be worse than the first. So this fundamental framework is quite key that we integrate it into our practices, whether we are counselors, nutritionists, nurses, name it, whatever we are in the health sector. We need to know how to talk to patients, reassuring them, and also how to talk to them to know that complications may arise. Also, how to talk to them so that they will begin to notice the early signs and symptoms of relapses, and then take proactive measure to prevent it. As I have said before, the community, the family also need to know. They also need to be brought in and educated on what and what to do and what to avoid doing, so that this person stays healthy for a long time and for the whole of his life, enjoying his life and his wealth. Dr. Komolafe, I think I need to stop here and hand over to you, because I know you are fully loaded today. Because I know there are other things we need to talk about. Thank you so much. Dr. Komolafe, take it over from there. Hello. You have not unmuted.
Okay.
Okay.
Please celebrate Doctor. Thank you very much for this highly intelligible discourse and explanation. We thank you so very much for making this general awareness known. And we do hope we'll make use of this very profitably, and we will have to utilize the information required. Thank you so very much, Doctor, for these germane fundamentals you've shown us that we are also bleeding into the framework that we are creating, so that people who need these vitals as far as the medical is concerned can also utilize them. Well done, sir. So I sent us the assessment we needed to print, to have printed out. I hope we do have it, so as to showcase what we've been saying since the day before yesterday. Do assessment. The one we will first run has to do with the various relapses. What do you need to look at? And how do you fix the area of relapse when you meet with any situation or condition so acute and critical? So let's address and see. I'm going to host an assessment for fundamental framework assessment test to see how to take on a client and spot in precise time which area therapy is required. Where do we touch? What do we touch? Do we have our copies printed? Here is one here.
Yes, mine is here.
Yes, I have hanged one, which I call Fundamental Operational Framework Assessment Test for strategic thinkers. Dr. Mba has done justice to showing us what goes on in the medical, so that whatever we want to do as to addressing relapse, we will be able to say in precise time, this is what to look, this is where to turn, and this is where to do things. On the first day, we emphasize the fact that there are 10 areas of relapse, ranging from health, which is critical and fundamental, and that so many things affect the health status of an individual. His strength will bring down his health. His wealth will bring down his health. Even relationship, issues around, people around him can become trigger environment that will militate against his health. Mrs. Kure, do you have the assessment? Okay, we'll send all this to you later. Mr. Alex
Okay, sir.
is on the group. I posted it to the group. You could see all of them there. And then you can lay hold on it. So this assessment gives you a bird's eye view of every critical area. So when you run this, we believe it will go directly as to pinpointing where the heavyweight is, where the good is, the bad, and the ugly about your client. And then you can fix it for him or her once you go through this. It tells you, hey, my economy, my finance is bad. You know it's talking about wealth relapse. It's telling you my relationship with my spouse is skelet and all of that. Oh, that's concept problem. That's health, emotional health. You now know this is where I'm talking. So let's go into it one by one. It is pedestaled on the domains of life. So the first domain is the health domain, concept domain, mental, emotional, physical, and otherwise. So the graph on top, 1 is dull, 2 poor, 3 means the same thing. Means the same thing with the 10 columns. So, how strong is your possibility for concept? In other words, where is this particular individual securing a balance? Is he securing a balance? Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, even political. If he says, for a while now, my mental health is disturbed, you may not even call it mental health. You may say my feeling, I've been feeling bad and all of that. You know that this has to do with health issue. It says my relationship with God is somehow, is still health, spiritual health. It's talking to you about his plans and decision, is still health. Once it has to do with his persona. So we need a specimen here to use. Mrs. Kure, you want to own up? You are the only one visible here now, apart from the two of us.
Okay, sir. Let me try.
Okay, so you are the one who will use as specimen. How well are you and balanced in your complete health?
I'm on the road.
And we just want.
So you may have some slight noise. I'm on the road, sir.
Okay,
so, but we can try.
Okay,
Yeah.
you are in traffic. You are in the vehicle.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, you just listen to me then and sense.
Okay. Okay.
What we are saying,
okay.
and just give us. So between 1 and 10, where 1 is low
Okay.
and 10 is high, how well can you say you are rounded, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual?
That's 1 to 10, right?
Yes.
I can say 7, 6, 7.
Give us 1. 6 or 7?
7.
Okay, 7. That means you are good there. Then we want to consider your strength in terms of your skills, your talent, your giftings, your competencies, your potentials. How well are you dominating, using them?
9.
Wow, you are going to break our record today. you are not a good candidate for this. But
it should be between 9, 8, 9.
No, 9, let's leave it at 9. If your mind tells you
Okay.
you are 9, because as a man thinks,
Okay.
so he is. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
The mouth speaks. Okay, sir.
Today now the mouth is not speaking, the Bible writing. So number 3, we want to look at your wealth domain. And that is in terms of value creation in goods and services for innovation and strategy. So how well are you contributing value in terms of goods and services using innovation and strategy?
7.
7. Good. So the fourth
Can you
one,
hear me, sir?
yes, I've checked it again.
Okay.
So the fourth one is the classic, which is your depth domain. Welcoming Malik to the show. Dr. Mba just finished presenting.
Good afternoon.
The other assessment that you can run for your client to understand which area of relapse you need to focus.
Oh, I'm so sad that I missed quite a lot.
You have the recording list.
Thank you very much, sir.
So we are running for Mrs. Kure to see where she is undergoing relapse in all the domains, so that as a therapist or coach, you can say, oh, madam, this is where we are focusing. This is where you should focus. Internal alignment or external assignment. We have seen her health, excellent. We've seen her strength, much more, excellent, magnified, nearing perfect. And we're looking at her contribution in terms of productivity, which is her wealth. She's also excellent. We're going to adapt now her unique selling point, her capacity to dig deep into herself and to bringing out virtues, whereby our own uniqueness is speaking in great volumes. So, madam,
okay, I score now. 7.
7. Okay, 7.
Yeah.
Good. So, meaning you are touching your water table, you are fulfilling purpose, you are enjoying what you are doing and doing what you enjoy, you are catching fun,
yeah,
and servicing a plethora of people, network around you. That is the meaning. That is,
okay.
You are classic, you are central, you find your equilibrium, and you are finding you are finding in all places, vacuum and filling them up with what you have. Then the next one is your stretch variable, which are the capacities to expand into others through deliberate equipping, mentorship, where you are able to help other people to become their best, giving your temp. What will you score yourself there?
8.
8. Good. So, the next one is your breadth variable, your sense of community. How well are you engaging a wider cluster by influence and dedicated service? You don't only have teams around you, virtual or real, they are also going about to engage at their various levels with other people, where you are raising the first and second generation of people who believe in you. What will you score here, man?
6.
Okay. Good. Then the next one is a continental approach. Your length, your capacity, spreading a mission agenda so well over all the places, as in a setup where people who have trained and been equipped by you, mentored by you, are in some other continents running the similar field, just as they have borrowed leave from you and are being mentored and monitored from there. What will you score yourself here?
8.
Wow. You are the first person to break this record here. Now I see why you need this course, so as to help so many others. And this will so, in a sense, boost your own confidence to know that you are just on track and that what you are doing is so credible. That is the advantage of this framework. It shows you the credibility and the authority you are wielding based on who you are and how well you have been able to develop yourself. So the next one is your collaboration. How well is your knowledge, your equipping others, translating to your capacity to teaming up with other leaders in order to birth a unique service or product, where you are beginning to consider projects to jointly collaborate and do with other people.
7.
Please, which town are you, madam?
I'm in Abuja.
Wow. You can say that again. 7. So, good. So the next one here is your continuity, your growth domain. Just like a woman will deliver and give birth, she doesn't leave the child alone. She ensures nurture, care, till maturation. How well do you continue to grow all your formidable plans, strengthen relationships, and drive strategy, given your collaborative effort? What will you score yourself there? Hello, Ma, can you hear me? Mrs. Kure, can you hear?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Did you hear my last
I
question?
said 6. I said 6, sir.
Okay, 6. Now, okay, what did you score in your number 8? 9 or 8? In terms of backing product or service?
Is it 7 or 6? Okay.
What did you say your score is? Is it 7?
On number 7?
Number 8.
Okay.
Teaming up with other leaders for unique product or service. What did your score there? 7 or 8?
That's number 8. 8 or 6. I'm on the road, so it's clumsy here. So I think it's number 8. 8 or 7. That's
okay, 7. Okay.
okay.
And then number 9, continuity. Ensuring growth, strengthening relationships through strategic drives. What will you score? Yes, that's the one you said 6 now. And then the last one is consolidation. Building confidence for sustained relationship where it matters. Where you have become a brand so unique and the universe so believes so much in you that you will deliver anytime, anywhere, any day. What will you score?
Number 7.
Okay.
Number 7.
Okay, what you're answering now, is it on a continental note or on a national note or on a global note?
It's a national note.
Okay. Can you give us a physical hint? Emphasize. Back it up with emphasis.
Okay, so I believe in my understanding is about how I've been able to collaborate with other with those that I've trained, I've impacted on, that are doing well, that I'm following up to ensure that they are meeting up to the trainings and the experiences they have gotten from me based on what I believe I have taught them over time. If I get you right,
Okay.
and they are
What you
in
have just
several
answered.
places doing well.
Okay, what you have just answered now is question 7. Question
Okay,
10 is actually ranking you with Coca-Cola.
okay,
Coca-Cola brand is tested and trusted everywhere.
yes, yes.
So that's why I feel you are not 7 yet in that one.
Okay.
Yes, people have confidence in your capacity to deliver, you are delivering. But the relationship has not been sustained to such a point that you are known in Nigeria, you are known in Ghana, you are known in Europe,
No,
you are known in
no, in
America.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Mm.
You are still localized. So what do you
Yes.
think you will get?
Nationally 6.
Okay. Not intercontinental yet. Are you intercontinental? Or we can't hear her. If you are not intercontinental yet, and you are not global, then you can't earn 6. You will earn less.
Yes, sir. I'm saying that because due to the nature of my job, I'm
Yes.
a journalist, I'm a broadcaster, and my works are heard and seen globally because of the internet. I'm on TV, for instance. I can be watched anywhere, any part of the world. And so I'm talking based on that. But of course, I know I am not a brand globally yet, but of course, I'm seeing globally because of the nature of my work.
Good. For being seen globally, we award you a 4. The question is saying a situation where you have sustained relationship everywhere it matters. So 4 gives you room. 4 is fair. It gives you room for improvement. To leverage your quality, your integrity, your capacity and productivity to become much more formidable. So, okay, let's put it at a 5 so as to encourage your effort. Now, these are the 10 areas of relapses we have just cast over a client. So now let's look at what the score is and what the tilt is and where are the likely areas of relapses you have to handle quickly. The relapse you don't handle will eventually handle you. Let me put it this way. The relapse symptom you don't handle within will eventually handle you without. When it is handling you within, it's just a steering to say, hey, this is a red light on your dashboard. Please do something about it. And nobody gets to see it on the outside. But when you ignore and refuse to handle within, it then goes ahead to handle you without. That is where relapse becomes evident. People will see it and know that you have suffered relapse. So somebody may be put roundabout outside. That doesn't mean there are no signals rest signals inside. That is why as coaches and therapists, at any regard, you should be able to see where you are at a time and where your client is, so that you don't say, oh, it's good, it's not manifesting anything. You don't wait to see it. You invade in order to look for it. That's the language. Invade into people, use your psychometric tools, and see what is inside them so that you can correct them from the inside before it begins to show outside. Very pivotal. So, very, very important. So let's calculate what Madam got. Under column 5, 1 time, 5 times 1, 5. Then number 6, 6 times 2, 12. And then number 7, column 7, 1, 2, 3. 3 times 7, that's 21. And then column 8. 8 times 2, 16. And then number 9, 9 times 1, 9. So what's the total? 16 plus 9.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Did we capture number 1?
Number 1. Okay. Which column? Question number 1?
Yes, 7.
7. Okay, how many times? Okay, can you see? And that's something you must be very careful of. So how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I didn't capture number 1. So 4 times 7 is what?
28.
28. So as therapists, please be very careful about adding up, because in building the integration, your facts and figures must tally. That's how I will have short measured Madam now, and it will give a wrong interpretation. So please look at it over and over and be sure your calculation is right. If it were to be medical now, we'll call it medical error. And then, some of these things are unforgivable. You make mistake, it tells on the client. And the wrong diagnosis will bring wrong prognosis, wrong treatment, wrong therapy. So what's the total? 16 plus 9, 25, plus 20, 45, plus 8, 53, plus 2, 55, plus 10, 65, plus 5, 70%. So, Madam, for fundamental framework, she is communicating. In fact, she is at the tail end of communication and at the door, knocking at the door of what? Connection. Wow. Please, let's celebrate her. A round of applause for Mrs. Puri. What does that portend? Talking about foundational framework, integration. It means whether she knows about this or not, she has a framework that is working. Roundabout. She's been working unconsciously within a frame. And I can tell you 10 of her attitude here without having met her before. and it will be so precise. She is a woman given to very vast knowledge, and she's hungry about knowledge and learning. True or false, ma'am? Oh, she cannot hear me. I will have asked her to be confirming all this. That is one. To have scored 70 means she doesn't need confinement. If she had scored 0 to 39, we'll say, wow, so many relapses are evident.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Did you hear what last did you hear that I said?
You were asking if I should confirm your assessment of me.
Yes. Was that true of you?
Yes, sir.
Good. So what percentage?
To 80 to 90% age of what you said in terms of my vast knowledge and my, hunger for more knowledge and all that. Yes.
Now, can you see how these things could be very revealing about your client, so that you know where to help your client to cross her T's and dot the I? Now, look at
yes
structural deviation. Beside three of her variables, most of them are very aligned on a straight line curve, meaning except she is not aware, takes on opportunities wherever they show. True or false, man? She doesn't joke with the slightest opportunity wherever she.
Yes, sir.
Is that true of you?
Yes, sir. It's true.
Good. Then number 3 characteristics. Looking at the gradient of her scores, she is a very compelling woman and a personality to meet, because most of her scores are 7 and above. Excellent, magnified, very good, and all of that. So she's an energetic woman, full of influence. True or false? Oh, we cannot hear.
True, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Good. And then when you look at Mrs. Kure, she is passionate about delivery. But the only low key for her is not actually from her, it's from the receiving end of people. And that's where you look at her community applause, that's question 6, and you look at her continuity. She has always been who she is, but the responses of people to her determine what they take. People who adore her easily tap into her recesses and get built. People who are sluggish will just remain there. From delivery end, she has actually had no problems delivering. True or false, ma?
True, sir.
To what capacity?
Like 80%, sir.
80%. That's very good. Then another thing about her is this. She is a very articulate woman who wants to understand what she means, and she means what she is saying. You can see from her gradient, they are almost collocated, not scattered. She has the power of communication, whether at individual level, that is as to answering question 1, 2, 3, as individual, herself, even up to her, but where she begins to have Lesser marks are when dealing with crowd, critical mass, and the rest, which is not an easy job. Talk about her persona, she's just up there. And that is given by question 1 to question 4. All her marks there are excellent and above. She's a woman and originality. She doesn't bend the rule. She's straightforward. I've given you 3 now. Are the 3 correct? Oh, we cannot hear her.
Yes, sir.
So what percentage?
They are correct too, about 80 to 90%, sir.
Have you met me? Do you know me at all?
No, sir. I'm surprised.
Yes, because out of the abundance of your heart, you have spoken to us. So I'm using assessment to interpret you and to let you know exactly what is the content of your heart. Each of these dealing with, what are the up, what are the down, what will she do, what will she not do, what are the vulnerabilities. Another characteristic about Mrs. Kure, looking at her graph and her score and the way she scored herself, is the fact that she has always learned to walk into people, trying to ensure that while keeping to her own lifestyle protocol, discipline, and dignity, tries as much as possible to walk with truth into people for level of understanding. True or false, man?
Very true, sir.
So what percentage?
80 to 90.
Dr. Onyekwere, are you surprised that, Malik, are you surprised that I am interpreting this woman correctly?
Give him 2.5 to go and buy water when he finishes. When give him 2.5 to go and buy water.
Well, to an extent, I am, sir.
Oh.
But, since you are exploring and invading, sir, it's not too... But I'm surprised to an extent, sir.
Okay.
Exploring and invading. So what I saw through exploration and expression is what is giving me the capacity to do establishment. These things are so straightforward that once your client can answer you right, you can interpret. Now, what is the secret of interpretation? When the scores are high, what are the high scores? Scores 7 to 10. That means the mood of that client is very high. There's no possibility of relapse. No relapse anywhere, inside out. Now, how many of our scores are so high from 7 to 10? 7 out of 10. Can you see it, Malik? So only 3 are behind 7. Meaning she's an excited woman. True or false, Mrs. Kure?
Very true, sir.
No dull moment with her. You are with her, you are catching fun. I am your husband. He's the one who creates an atmosphere there, and know how to do proper emotional conditioning, even when she's not a therapist yet. True or false?
True, sir.
So what percentage?
80 to 90.
Can you see people here? I wish her husband is here to say, who is this wizard? Giving me insight about what I already. Now, how do you interpret again? You interpret by mood analysis. Any score in between columns 1 and 3. Malik, are you saying it? Means dull, poor, tolerable. That is low mood. Any score between columns 4 to 6. What is it? Fair, adequate, and good. Means medium mood. Now, how many of Madam Skure's scores are in low mood? None. Malik, can you see? Did she score anything between columns 1 to 3? So there is no moody moment inside her. It could be around her, but never inside her. Does that mean she's not sensitive to her environment? She is a woman of emotional intelligence who is able to self-regulate. And that's why, can you see, everything in low mood is clean. Madam, is that true about you?
It's true, sir.
Things may go bad, but you won't see it inside her. She relates to that. She has always learned to differentiate between her personality and her activity. You could do her negative, do her bad, and all of that, but it doesn't enter into her, and she easily forgives. True or false, man?
Very, very true, sir. Very true, sir.
What percentage?
80 to 90, sir.
Now, can you see? So, I'm not guessing because everywhere here is clean. Now, let's look at a medium mood. Score 4 to 6. How many of her variables? 1, 2, 3. And those variables are even external variables. They have nothing to do with her as a person because she's dealing with community, question 6, continental, and then question 8, collaboration. So she's not at fault at all. Despite that, she could still go as high as 6. And what is 6, Malik? 6 is good. Meaning she knows what to do, whether alone, in the public, in the crowd, and what have you. And when you give her opportunity, she is going to feel good with the opportunity and drive home her point to the admiration of every hearer around her space. Madam, true or false?
True, sir. True.
What extent?
Hello, sir.
To what extent is it true?
80%, sir.
Wow, that is a kind. Now, look at our major scores. Coming out of them are 7 upward. So meaning she is a role model to many. Except that we do not know whether she has a formalized, structured system, the way that I have, where she engages people in mentorship and organized curriculum. Madam, do you have?
No, sir, I don't have. I train lots of young broadcasters in the newsrooms and other places, but no organized place.
Now, I'm not even talking of place now, I'm talking of structure.
Yes, that's what I mean. No organized structure.
Okay, so that's where my branding and packaging will be useful for you. And by the time you can do that, all those your question 7, 6, where you are scoring 6, question 9, where you are scoring 6, and question 10, where you are scoring 5, you start scoring 8, 9, 10 there. Because you lack packaging and branding. You have realized your strength and in fact almost overstretching yourself And that is why you go the extra mileage trying to satisfy people. True or false?
Very true.
It is because of
Very
absent
true.
branding and packaging. When you become branded like me, you start having invitations from Europe, America, the rest of Africa, because you are structured. And then what are your low points? One, because you lack structure on a definite note. People love you at first sight. When they hear you, they are happy. But they don't have a formalistic way of connecting with you for their desires as at when due. Rather, they cash in into opportunities they see you provide part-time. That is not healthy for you. It will weary you over time and weigh you down. But because of the energetic persona that you are, that is why you are still keeping it up. If I add 5 more years to you, it will soon be weary. And then all this work will go into oblivion because we'll have been tired. So much of this work are on you for a heavy weight, and you are busy. System that is supposed to uphold these things have not been given a pivotal place. So it is your strength that you develop. And then that's why you spend much money on people without getting it back. That's why people want to take you for philanthropy and thank you so much and thank God for you that you are there for them. But they have no means to pay back on a structural note and to reward your value construct. True or false?
True, sir. Very true.
So in your mind now, you are already behaving like a teacher. Oh, and the proverbial way will say, my reward is in heaven. So Mrs. Kure's reward is in heaven, but by packaging and branding with me, I'm going to ensure some in heaven, one meant for her comes to her. So it tells you if Mrs. Kure can be branded and packaged, she has a huge lot for resources to leverage and to create multiple streams of income, local, national, international. True or false, man?
True.
What percentage?
80%, sir.
Now, where is her Achilles heel? On very many occasions, she waits for provisions before she can hatch some of her personal projects. She doesn't have, it's not that she's poor, but she doesn't have that much that she can easily just bounce on 110 million there and say, oh, for this project, 120 million there, for that project, 15 million there. No, she will have to work and make up money and project it towards a particular project per time. True or false, man?
Very, very true.
Will you want a change?
Very, very, very much, sir. I want a change.
So it's not just by willingness. You have to pick my form. I build a mentorship hub online for 100. We're about 100 now. MD CEO, startups, generals, retired or serving, directors, pioneers of businesses, public servants, what have you, retired senior citizens, bankers, and whatnot. So at the end of the training today, just send me a hi. We'll send you the form. You fill it, send us your corporate profile, and then I will unbundle your corporate profile, what you've done and all that, and build you a curriculum. Now, with this assessment, psychometric analysis is showing me that as per your persona and potential, you don't have no problems at all. You are just skilled, hitting the ground running. Your SWOT analysis is great, but your capacity for critical engagement has not been scaled. Have you heard about scaling before?
Scaling?
Yes. What does it mean to scale?
No, I can't explain.
Good. Because you cannot explain, that's why you are not enjoying the benefit of large-scale production of goods and services. Now, if you check Mrs. Kure now, if she has any books, maybe about just one or two, that has not gone nuclear. True or false? Do you have any book?
That I've written?
Yes.
Yeah, I wrote just a book.
And you see what I said now? She wrote just.
I wrote just a book.
And has that one gone nuclear? Has the book gone nuclear, ma?
No, sir.
So she wrote the book and reading it to herself. She's not scared. Mindset is still the mindset of a sole proprietorship. One man business. I'm happy I first gave her all her applauses before I'm crucifying her now, so that she won't call me person. So it takes branding and packaging to expand your space as far as your mindset is concerned, so that you can house continental applauses and global imperative. I've not been able to push through your work out because brand impetus is absent. The woman who fries akara by the roadside and sell to make money is the same mentality now. That's not to say you don't possess the leverage for continental appeal and global appeal, but you wait only for opportunities to show up. And perhaps, perchance, you are waiting for when the opportunity will show up to display the book, which you have not found most of the time. By the time you become branded, people will be asking you all over the world, Madam, please, that book, where can we get it? And you say, go to Amazon, go to Paystar, go to D, and in one day, you can sell 5,000 copies at 5,000 naira without winking an eye. So what is that, madam? 5,000 copies at 5,000 naira, given any currency. That is 25 million. Madam,
5 million.
25 million without winking eye. When you are branding just one book, where 5,000 people buys your book. If I say, madam, please, can you just borrow me 2 million? I will pay you back next week. The way you will laugh, Steph. Because if you have it from the one you generated from your work, it has been what you have built over the time and kept somewhere dedicated. Madam, when you are branded and packaged, you will have dedicated accounts, and then you will have floating funds to use. Then you push out resources. Then all these guys you have mentored and all that will consciously and continuously feed from you as in a structure. Now, what is the disadvantage of your not being branded? One, if you go on vacation now for 2 years, and you don't interact with anybody, what do you think will happen when you resume? You are going to start from almost 0.0 because you don't have
Yeah.
that should speak. Your work is not institutionalized. They are not structuralized. Now, how do I know your work is not structured? Let's look at your structural deviation from this assessment. Malik and everybody, are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now let's check our structural deviation. The rule of structural deviation says the column gap between your highest score and the lowest score, as far as column is concerned, must not be more than 2. Now let's see her structural deviation. Our lowest column of score is score 5, and her highest is score 9. So 9 minus 5, that is 4. So how many times can you get 2 in 4? 2 times. So what does that mean? Mrs. Kure is 2 times wider from her original. So what does that mean? She is doing double of what she needed to have done ordinarily to catch fun and make the fun. And yet, she's not coming in. So she has not known how to separate between her identity and her lines of authority. True or false, Mrs. Kure?
True.
So when you see her, you also see authority. Meaning now, if she tries to dare it and go on leave for 6 months without talking to anybody, her works may not be able to speak on for long, except when it is needed. Why? It is not branded yet. On Malik's own, I will have crucified him very well, despite the fact that he's been running up and down. This thing will reveal his secrets. Alex, they do print out this thing. Okay, he couldn't print it out. Otherwise, we'll have and see relapses. So let's now look at Mrs. Kure's relapses, which are not evident on the surface. Anything less than 7 is a relapse. In principle. It is in principle inside. It is in practice outside. When you handle it inside, while still in principle, it won't show outside. But when you leave it and say, it's just small, I will walk over it, it will grow until it overwhelms you on the inside. And once you are overwhelmed on the inside, it will outweigh you on the outside and bring down your mood. And that one, no medical doctor can see it. Even Dr. Mba, with all his stethoscope and all those things, will not see it. It will take a therapist, behavioral therapist.
That's true.
Except that Dr. Mba is coming up now to become psychotherapeutically inclined like us. So now let's see. Okay, what did I say we should check now?
Sir, you said it is a principle inside
And a
before
practice outside. Relapses
Thank you, sir.
are first principle. They are science, a knowledge inside. You just know, I'm not sleeping well. Just like Malik yesterday or day before yesterday, we knew through psychotherapy, through behavioral inflation, it's not that he's not sleeping, but his sleep is not adequate. And he's beginning to tell its tale inside him, though he's still in charge. That was the principle inside. But by the time he keeps repeating it over and over and it becomes an addiction, what happened? it will show on his face. So it has become a practice outside, and that is relapse. So relapses plants the seed in the soil of people's mind and grow out in their life eventually. That's what we're saying. Now, look at threatening relapses of Mrs. Curry. Though she's still good, but those are her low ebbs. Question number 6, community. And then what question again? Question number 10. Yes, she's making global influence, but not much, relatively. And then if you ask her now, some of those global influences she's making is not her own direct work. It is either by the dint of opportunity, relationship, not the work she created and say, I'm going to the globe. Because she's not branded, she doesn't have such opportunities. If you ask her now and say, Mrs. Curry, how many times have you been invited to Europe based on the work, your work that spoke in Europe? Were you invited up to 5 times last year? It will possibly tell you one or none. Answer for us.
No, no, sir.
Because as far as
No, sir.
she work, I'm beginning that now. They said me who was praising her and had good go. She was 80. So her structure is too skewed. My original. Not because she's doing it wrong, but because she has a wide field she's not covering yet by this assessment. A wide field. And if you ask her now, she's only praying about, I'm praying. One day will be one day, I will hit it. One day will be one day, I will hit it. She prays a huge lot because all these records, she would not have made them without prayer. She believes in prayer and she believes in walking. But because she has not come to this atmosphere where she will see the gap and brace up, make sacrifices to say, whatever it will take me, I want to be branded, grounded, and rounded. And then look at her score, 70. What is the gap, loophole, and vacuum, despite her high score and intellectuality? Malik, that's 30%. Is 30% sustainable? No. Meaning she could pull her strength roundabout for just 70%. What she should stretch to get 90, 80, she is doing 70. So meaning Mrs. Curry is also a workaholic. She tries as much as possible to use her energy to the best of her ability, but she is still disengaged, disconnected with 30% of her energy. Why? Not because she wanted, but because they say condition make crayfish bend. She didn't know what to do, and neither does she want to do what she doesn't know. But a type of person, given this assessment, you expose her to a critical knowledge, she catches the fire and sign into it. Now, so that it won't be as if I use Mrs. Okoro alone, let's use one of our men here, and then I will pieces them here. Malik or Alex, who is going to offer himself for my sacrificial lamb? Enough of Mrs. Curry. I don't want to spoil her joy. So, Mrs. Curry.
No, sir. So you're not spoiling my job. I'm really happy for on this assessment. Is really helping me, sir.
Thank you very much. So, if I with you now, you are treatable on 3 counts: on community relapses, on continuity relapses, and on concentration relapses. For your pursuit,
Very true.
continue to do what you are doing. Keep on keeping on. But on this critical engagement, on a communal note, you are just struggling and pushing yourself. A system that is supposed to be in operation is unoperational. Because of that, you are
Very true, sir.
much of the job. In fact, your spouse must have been pitying you and commending you and say, my wife is a very energetic woman.
Okay. True, sir.
That long run and intermediate. If not that we are now, we will be tired because the law of diminishing return will set in as your energy level dwindles, decreases. What you need to do is to set up a framework fundamentally and integrate it. And that's the essence of this training. So that all you are doing is instructing, to pretending, directing, guiding, and then people will be your eyes, your hand, your leg, just as we are doing for Malik now. Young man, articulate, we are saying, hey, we don't want you to burn your energy and run amok, aloof within a short while. Let's package and brand you in such a way that you are in Lagos, activities are going on in Kano, in Maiduguri, Sokoto, all at the same time, while you are in the center spread of it, catching fun, because there is fundamental framework that is integrated. All you need to do is just to service each of those lanes: the health, the strength, the wealth, the depth, the stretch, the breadth, the length, the birth, the growth, and the faith. And you keep running without being lopsided. Generate energy that sustains itself. Structure gives you money effortlessly. Now, by the time you become branded and rounded, and you go to America, for example, or Europe to speak, or even if it is virtual, and you say, well, there's this my work I'm recommending, where everybody gave you applause and all of that, and you cash into that, and you say this book can be downloaded at social site, you will be shocked the dollars and pounds sterling you will get. Why? Your work branded. Because you have a framework. No frame, Mrs. Kure, no sustainable fire. What you are doing now is your own personal energy, because you are an energetic woman. But for how long will you be able to carry that alone? The work you are supposed to put in 20 people so that they will run and burn in their different energy is on you alone. And that's why most times, Mrs. Kure, you are thinking, you are strategizing, you are planning, you are doing this. Only sleep collect job from you.
Hey, Doc.
Your assessment,
you know too much, sir.
It's your assessment that is telling me, I will take a man here and crucify him for you. This, you're always thinking, racking your brain, and all of that. And that is a behavioral variable for us. And before too long, if we don't step in now and brand you, you will look older than your physical age. If care is not taken, your head, your brain, your head will always be hot. Even when you are under AC, because workaholism is no longer about running up and down. You can stay in your house and say you have retreat for 3 days, and you discover you even work more. Why be in the room? Because you are calculating, you are thinking and traveling from Lagos to Japan, then to Maiduguri in your brain. It is still work to us. Behavioral are still at work. You close office and close file, but you carry some in your brain and come home. And you are now thinking as if you are in office. You are still in office to us. And you are still at work.
Very true.
We need to separate between your persona and your properties and your production. 3 different entities. Malik, Alexander, Dr. Mba, we need to separate between your persona, your properties, and your production. There are 3 different entities. Mrs. Kure has been mingling the 3 together. Only sleep collect them.
Yes, Doc.
She's always planning, strategizing, and all of that. And so what happened? That's why if you join all her scores, you will see a dented thing. They are not straight. Not because she's wicked or she's not good, but where she needs to build people to scale. So what is this principle of scaling? In scaling, it means you have a system that is functioning outside of you. Malik, are you listening? When you scale, a system captures your work outside of you. Where you become a spectator, watching your work produces, and smiling to the bank, you are scaled. Where a single input will generate an amplified result by multiplier effect, you have scaled. Where your work can run on a structure in other people and they can do it even when you are not speaking anything. Where people can relate with you without talking to you and making money for you while you sleep. You and Malik, you have the same characteristic, and even Alex. I wish I can pick on Alex here so that we'll see his gradient and see how many millions he has made. Now, the negative impact of not being branded is this. Any life you touch, the life will know that he has only drank from you. But there is no feedback mechanism to compensate you in the appropriate method and ways. And then they can't carry on your work the way it should be. It dies only with them because you have not provided the funnel for expression. Why? Because you are not branded. Fundamental framework integration, where it is absent, you run making too much motion without movement. You will be hitting accidental jackpot. You will not be able to live by deliberate creation. So say, okay, Dr. James, I want to target Europe in May. And I want 5,000 people to buy my book. I will ask you, Mrs. Kure, are you going to perform magic? Now, can you start praying and fasting to say 5,000 people will buy my book in May? You may pray, you may fast. But as long as the structure is not on ground for people to relate to in touching you, they will not buy. In fact,
Very true.
if you bring out the book and just talk in a moment, because you have opportunity, 1, 2, 3 may buy and say, well, I like the way she presented her for her case and all that. And they just hit computer. They don't see how to connect with you. They don't see structure on ground. They don't see referrals. They don't see you doing capacity building and mentoring on a classified note, for which when somebody leaves this, he knows he's going to this and doing that and doing that. Once it is not there, you are not skilled. Madam, you are skilled, very highly skilled, but you are not skilled. Abdul, you are very skilled at what you do. You make articulate statements about mental health and prevention, but no skill yet. And when you are not skilled, you are the major and prime mover all of the time. You keep quiet for 2 weeks, the motion and the emotion of your work also goes down because you are not skilled. When you are not skilled, you are the only voice heard all of the time. Other voices are only subservient to you. When you are not skilled and you are only skilled, you are a superstar. The engine room, other people just hear and say, wow. But as to becoming like you and taking it far beyond where you cannot reach, they lack capacity. Not because they don't want to do it. They can give you 1 or 2 referrals, but before you know it, their fuel will quench and fire will quench. So let me see if I can handle one man here, because I can't crucify our lady, the only lady we have in this training, and not look for a man to crucify. So, madam, snap this your assessment, write your record. Later, I will tell you some deeper things about it. So
Okay, sir.
So that we take on. Okoro.
But sir, it is 5 o'clock.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. So we have to close.
We have to do it. It's 5 o'clock.
Okay, we'll do it privately. It's 5 o'clock. So ask questions. We would like to close here. I've not even treated the second one, but this one, very germane. If you handle this one with anybody, you see people who are even stinkingly rich, who are not skilled. And you say, sir, if you continue like this, it may not last long, because body no be wood, do. All these things you are doing, you are saying, somehow, one day is one day, I will meet my helper of destiny. When you are not branded, you are skilled, but you are not skilled. It doesn't work. So everybody ask questions before we close. Question?
Yes, sir. So yesterday I was going through my notes, sir, and it was very exciting because I was getting to know myself better. You know, I was mirroring what I've learned to myself.
Wow.
So yeah, a question appeared to me and I was like, so where does one find a balance?
Where does one find a balance?
Yes, sir.
Good. 5T model shows you where you find balance. First T, education. I've done education. Number 2, testing, which is evaluation. That's what I've done for Mrs. Kure now. I educated her and I evaluated her. Show you her good, her bad, and the ugly. And the bad and the ugly is not because she caused it, but they were unconscious omission, which nobody ever exposed to her. And if you see her now, people are carrying her. in her own space, an ecosystem, that this is our heavy one. Not because she's not heavy, but the heaviness has not gone round inside out. What's the third T? Treatment, which is what? Intervention. So all the places she's down now, she needs what? Intervention. And by my intervention, I'm saying, hey, madam, you have to be branded so that I will help you integrate this framework and see what you lack, train you, equip you, chisel you, show you where you have to minimize your energy dispensation and dispensing, and then where you need to train people, and then how you need to train people in a package. And then I will customize her work into modules and curriculum. You do this, this is stage 2. This is stage 3. After here, I expose you here. No matter whose ox is God, that is a framework that is integrated. Everybody passes through it, no matter who. In one of my trips to America, I learned a lesson at Atlanta, Georgia. Because I wanted to enter America like this. Me and my family, my wife and 3 kids, they were young that time. A serving Nigerian governor with his wife and 3 kids were just in front of us. And as we wanted to enter America, no room for PA, no room for senior special assistant. It was the man himself that carried his own bag. And they said, "You're welcome, sir. Please, can you open your bag?" And because of a fundamental framework that is integrated, that you have to go one by one and you are checked, no matter who you are. I was privileged to see the toothpaste of a current serving governor and the brush. Why? Because there's an arrangement every one of us must go to. Then I say, even a governor is using the same type of toothpaste I'm using. Now, imagine if it is in Nigeria. Will I ever have opportunity to see? No, because everything is anyhow. In fact, the siren, they will blow me off the roof. As if I don't know. So when you have a framework, it is a frame of work that works for a long-term sustainability. So Malik, what you are lacking is that you are not branded yet. And that's why I pick on you on LDNA platform to say, hey, let's brand this guy, no matter what it will cost us, so that his work can become an institution. Whether he's at work or not, an institution is running. Now, people who own institution, mention what? Like Afe Babalola. Is he the one teaching all the courses in his school? Does he touch anything? Is the institution not running? Are they not issuing certificates?
Yeah.
That's what we are saying. Yours may not be a school. Yours may be online. But it's running without you consciously being the one burning energy all the time, calling people, hey, you have not done this, you have not done that. If you check Madam Kure's expenses on telephone call, he can send a child to a school because he's always doing the networking, calling people and planning. True of us, man. This one will not leave this one.
True, sir. True. It's true.
Because it's not branded yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yaya,
yes, sir.
The fact lies that you need to be branded. Send me your corporate profile if you have not. Send me your picture. I will send you the form, whatever little thing you can. I can't wait to brand you. Once you are branded, we'll just talk all your work into it. So that people meeting you, what do you refer them to? The work. from input to throughput to output. Look at what I am saying. Oh, it pains me. Time is over. This is the best session for this class. Look at what I am saying. When you are branded, look at the framework you have. Pray I see one immediately here. Show you how it works. Look at one here. Once you are branded, you have a thematic theme to refer to. Look at one here. It will always have 3 cascades where you see input, how people come to you will be defined. And then when they come to you, how do they receive accommodation on your ground? It will also be defined. And then when they are leaving you, how are they leaving you? So he's saying I have to minimize. It will be defined. That 3 stage will take care of everybody, whether you are there or not. All you'll be doing is just to watch the system, like a production factory. And then you see that this thing is delivering on a constant note. I thought I show us on the first day. Let me see if I can. Good. Look at what I am saying. Yeah. Now, can you see this picture?
Yes,
can we see fundamental framework word strategy. At contact. Mrs. Kuri, are you seeing it? Oh, she's not here.
I can see it.
Oh.
I can see it.
Now, what do you see at contact? That is input, first impression. You see every Tom, Dick, and Harry, the same platform, blue color. Everybody relates to the door the same way. There could be 1 million. Now, Mrs. Kure, with this your current arrangement now, if 1 million people bounces on you, you will run away because you don't have a structure to warehouse them.
Yes.
Malik, if 500 gather in Kanu and to say, please, we need you, you won't sleep overnight. You will walk, and you won't be able to take them in through your contact. Contact phase is your input phase, where you accept people as they are. Good, bad, ugly, black, white, red, yellow, green, grown up, adolescent, whatever. Your framework must capture all when you are mentoring. And then from there, you go into construction, which is the throughput. You put them through. Can you see the same people sitting down now? Now,
yes, sir.
You have a space in your work where 50 people can sit at the same time, whether you are there or not, and they are enjoying your deliverables. Mrs. Kure, do you have?
No, sir. No.
Because you are not branded. Even Yaya doesn't have. So they can't sit down and sit at home in your work because you are not skilled. You have the skill, but you have not been skilled. Scaling is critical. Then in your template, you are going to, after you have worked on them, you have helped them cross their T's and dot their I's, they will now rise up. Can you see them jubilating? They are already celebrating, going to make contribution. What are they going to use? Your template. They have found themselves aflame, given the structure you gave them All of them. Can you see? Same people who came in sluggishly, one-on-one. Can you see them binded now? You have a critical mass. You can say, oh, this is my people. On first day, did you hear Triumph and his testimonial? How that he used my training and the whole of Lagos State is in his hand now. Lagos State says any training they are doing, that guy must be included. And I said, Triumph, you know you are not even branded yet, and you are winning the whole of Lagos. How much more when you become branded? So he quickly told me, he will get the form, pay, and then be structured. So when work is not structured, you go through unnecessary stress. People enjoy you temporarily, unsustainably. When you are not strong, the work is not strong. People can easily read your own emotion. Now, whether Afe Babalola is sick or not, will the university run?
Will.
Does it need to be physically available before certificate?
No. No.
That's become institution. So when you have a template like this that show people how to contact you, and after contacting you, you are able to do construction for them, online, offline, on-site, and at the end of the day, they are going happy to make contribution. You have scaled. You have been planted. And it is only those who are planted that can flourish. I'm sure Mrs. Curry understands what I am saying. So your work has to be planted for it to flourish. And when you plant a seed, does it travel? It stays there and grow and take over.
Yes.
So
Yes.
your answer, Malik, you
Yes,
have
sir.
seen yourself? Yes. The gaps there are saying, talk to Dr. James. Let him plug these gaps for you. And all I will do is simple. I will say, oh yeah, these are the things you will start doing. This is how to connect with people. Make it regular. And then leave it on ground for people to relate with. And you will watch your work working within a frame that has become integrated. And then people have results. When you want to multiply results, scale. When you want to multiply personal work within your effort, just learn skill only. That's why when people tell me I'm taking this course, and when I finish, I will also take this one, take this one, take this one. You are only building skill. Skill is alone, is no longer enough. Necessary, but not sufficient. Scale. The little skill you have, don't need to scale. Let there be a structure around it for all drug abusers, substance abusers to be able to relate to. In fact, the way I will package my leg in such a way that whether you are in Kano or not, 70 parents can contact you at once. And they know what to do to reaching you through your structure. And then you can now call them at will. You just give a talk on YouTube or on Radio Kano or whatever, 10 minutes talk. And at the end, at your contact, 7.
Thank you. We can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
What last did you hear?
You're talking about Radio Kano, sir.
Yes.
7.
If there's anything called Radio Kano,
We have stopped hearing again, sir.
okay. I know what is happening. It's my battery. Let me plug it.
Okay, sir.
Do you know I sit in Abuja here and just my TV broadcast?
Yeah, stopped again, sir. This.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
To no longer stop now. Do you know I sit down on this seat? An NTA place my work. Then I enjoy invitation in Port Harcourt, enjoy invitation in Lagos, and all whatnot. The way, like I'm telling you, I'm going to package Malik in such a way that he has an opportunity with NTA Kanu or Radio Kanu, and he speaks for 10 minutes. And then at the end of the day, he checks his structure and sees 700 families already queuing. Say, please, we have a child for drug addiction. Please, handle him for us. Now, when he's not scared, Malik, can you handle 700? You have the facility.
No,
you have
sir.
the framework. He doesn't have.
Yes.
Because he's skilled. He knows it, the nitty-gritty, but he's not skilled yet. So when he becomes skilled, there are things he will tell them. Okay, everyone download this. Quickly, they will download and fill. You say, okay, 700 parents. Okay, my form is 5,000. Just the form. And because they hear a testimonial of how you help somebody, and they still have their own son at the backyard drinking himself, and you say my form is 5,000. Now, 5,000 times 700. What is this, sir?
350,000. It's times 700.
Yes.
3.5.
Eh?
I think it's about 3.5, sir.
Just like that. If you ask Malik now, how many months did it take you to make 3.5? If he has ever made one this year, I'm sure he has not made through his effort. They may dash him money, give him money, but his work has not generated it. Why? No skill. So if you are making 3.5 just to register, how about treatment? And you say, well, I'm going to run 3 therapy. I'm going to run 3 assessments. Do you know each of these assessments is 100K from us here? It's 100,000 because it will go inside your client, just like the way I went inside Mrs. Kure now and began to pull her out. It's 100K. I'll show you how to use it. I'll give you videos and all of that so that you become expert in your field when you are branded. In fact, what I do for people I brand and package is that I look at their passionate appeal and their areas of work and customize all these assessments to bear their similitude. So that when Mrs. Kure is speaking, when anybody holds the assessment, it's Mrs. Kure's mind that is their basis. That is what we do in packaging. So that whether you are speaking or not, your works are speaking. That's the issue there. Any other question?
Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Alex, any question? Dr. Mba? Closing remarks by Mrs. Kure and Dr. Mba. Because
Thank you so much, Dr. Komolafe. You have really opened our eyes the more. And we shall take it off from here. Thank you so much.
So, madam, please
thank you.
On my number.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
When you were assessing Mrs. Kure, it was as if you were just dissecting me.
Also.
Because really, we need to go beyond just what we're doing to scaling the work. Yes, really, and they're doing a lot of structure around what we do so that we can actually maximize our strength.
Thank you
you
very
know, and get a lot out of it. So I'm really grateful. I will explore this even beyond this point. You know, oh, I will, because I'm just looking at while you were assessing Miss Curry, I was looking at my strengths, you know, the activities, and you know, all that I can actually do. How to now focus, okay, create a brand. You even talked about you mentioned something I think is very, very important. Okay. Put your work into modules and all of that. This is part of structure. So curriculums, curriculum. Yes. So I would progress from here with you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Scale, this is what you see on ground. Your 10 domains are hitting the ground running. People leave 1, they go to 2, they find 3, they find their 4, go to 5, go to 6, go to 7. From here, they begin to engage into critical production, promotion, and all of that. And here, you don't lack fun. Even if you enter whole, money will be looking for you. I'm begging you. So on this note, I'd like to thank everyone. Please send me your hi. I will send you all the 3 videos and all the assessments.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a lovely, lovely evening. Dr.
Thank you very much.
Final word.
Thank you very much, Dr. James.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Dr. James. Hello, Dr. James.
Doc, are you dead?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Dr. James.
I can hear you from my end.
Dr. Mba, we are not hearing you.
No, it's Mrs. Kure that is calling you. She wants to relay something to you.
Okay. Yes, madam.
Okay, because you asked for my final talk, so I was trying to say that this is an eye opener. The training is apt, and I'm very, very happy to be part of this, especially after this assessment. And me knowing that there is an intervention which will come in terms of scaling, branding, and all that. So I thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the next level and stage of works with you and the group in order for me to maximize my opportunities and my works. So I'm very, 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 very happy. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, madam. It's a pleasure and a privilege.
Okay.
Dr. Final words.
Yes, thank you, and I wish everyone well. We will continue to partner with one another to make this successful for each and everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Komolafe. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you, Alexander.
God bless you. Expect all
Bless you too.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.